Hey there, listen, I was with Alex Snitker recently. We were talking about the election 2020 and what's coming up. And Joe Biden had just jumped in the race, so we talked to him about his chances of winning, what some of the backlash has been, and his thoughts on if Biden really has a chance to beat Trump or not. So check it out.
All right, Alex, I want to get to a couple of big headline stuff. And this week we had news. Joe Biden officially announced for 2020 he's going to run for president. Wanted your thoughts on his odds of winning, and what are some of the pros and cons of seeing Biden into the race?
Okay, so I know this may sound a little counterintuitive considering what we're seeing as the talk track from the loudest voices within the Democrat Party. However, I do think that Biden's chances of winning the nomination are greater than what the public is, or what the political intelligentsia is saying. I mean, I know he's an old white guy, and supposedly within the Democrat Party that is frowned upon now at this point. However, I do think that if you look at the entire field of people, that I think that the base, not the loud base, by the way, so I want to make sure I make that differentiation, but the loud base is not going to be with him, but I think that he's going to eventually end up being the nominee because they're going to go with the assumption that he's the best candidate to go against Trump.
So you think that if you had to make a poll right now, and you actually had legitimate numbers, not just what people will tell us in polls, but if we had an actual presidential scale turnout for just the Democrats, you think that Biden would beat Bernie?
Right now, based off of some of the polling that's out there, is that he's currently beating Bernie.
Okay. Because they're kind of neck and neck, depends on the poll. They're kind of a coin toss. And I'm with you. I think there's a loud base, and then there's the rest of the base. I think there's a much more moderate tenor to most Democrats. I do think the pull the D, pull the R split's going to be there at the end of the day for 2020. It's more of that primary race, and they seem like they're all, the other Democrats are kind of lumping themselves together. And for Biden, he almost is better served to at least try to run in a different lane. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, exactly. Now, and the other thing is this: if you break down the individual statistics, at least where the polling data is right now, and again, look, this is going to change wildly, during this whole time frame. And I think if there's anybody that can beat Biden, though, I think that Bernie Sanders it's either going to be Biden or Sanders. Again, which is really funny considering that the loudest voices within the Democrat Party right now are saying that they want anybody but an old white guy. But I still think that with all that being said, that if you look at both Biden and Bernie, is that the positives that they have are going to far outweigh, and the base that they'll have, supporting them is going to far outweigh the rest unless you see all of those other people start coalescing around one other candidate, and then you can take your pick from the rest of them. But unless we see that, which I don't think we're going to see because I think ego's going to get in the way there, that it's going to be, at the end of the day, Bernie against Biden. And I think at the end of the day, Biden's going to win it because I don't think that the Democrats are going to, they like to talk about socialism, but I don't think that even they are misguided enough. I guess that's the best word I could use for it. As long as they're not misguided enough to think that they could actually put up a guy that has spoken well about, communist dictatorships in office. And I think Biden's going to use those attacks against Bernie. I think, after he gets everybody else knocked out and it's just him against the other guy, that's where I think that Bernie's going to lose because he is too far radical when it comes to that. And on the inside of the polling, that, Biden does very well with black people. The African-American base is actually viewing Biden somewhat favorably. I mean, don't get me wrong, considering that some of the policies that he's done in the past are going to come back to bite him, he's doing the best because he was Obama's running mate.
Yeah, I really agree with a lot of that. The one argument I would say from a Bernie Sanders standpoint, and I think that this could be the pitch, you tell me where I'm right or I'm wrong, and that is, if I'm Bernie, I continue to try to hammer on the creepy Joe, right? Because if you have creepy Joe against Trump, a lot of the sexist and bigoted and weird things that Trump has said or done that's been used against him are kind of off the table because Biden's almost equally as bad in some people's eyes.
You know what? You have a point there. But this is where the media is going to help Biden, is that right now he's getting attacked for it, but they're going to run out of steam on this stuff real quick, and then they're just going to forget that it ever happened, and all they're going to do then is focus on the bad things that Trump did and not have any moral equivalency, at least in my opinion, the way the media is going to cover it. There'll be no moral equivalency to what Biden did to what Trump did, and what they'll use as the excuse on that is really going to be that, well, Biden didn't really mean nothing bad by it, and Trump obviously meant something bad by it. And so because of the differentiation between the two, which I would say there's some legitimacy to this. You know, if you look at what Biden did, there's nobody that's coming out saying that Biden, you know, sexually assaulted me. They're just saying he's old and creepy and, you know, it was Creepy Joe. Now, the thing that this helps for Trump, though, is that any of the base that was like the Me Too thing, it does even it out with some of those people because it might just be to where they won't go out and vote for him. So the Biden thing may end up depressing some of the vote, but I don't think it's going to – but the media is going to do the best that they can in order to kind of hide that and kind of make Trump look so bad that they're going to have to use the fear to try to engage the base to go out and vote for Joe Biden.
Alex Snitker, we're talking 2020 races and information with Alex Snitker, former candidate for Senate, working his hiney off out there, headed into 2020. So we'll keep him on the hook here for more conversations. And check out the conversation below, folks. So like or subscribe. See the different links we have there. Some of the other pieces of the conversation that you might have missed, not in this one. And we'll catch you up on that.